Welcome back to American Graduate Day on WFYI. I'm Jill Ditmire. Joining me for this segment, we have Ernest Disney-Britton with the Arts Council of Indianapolis. Welcome, Ernest. Glad to have you here.
Thrilled to be here.
And also JoEllen Florio Rossebo. She is with Arts for Learning. Excited
Thanks,
to have
Jill.
you with us too.
Very happy to be here as well.
And we're talking about STEAM, which we're all familiar with STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. But now we've added an A, which is the arts, which is a vital component. How did we go so long without having STEAM instead of STEM? What do you guys think?
Right. And we always knew that when we were kids that it was STEAM. The arts were as vital a part of education as all the other disciplines, and now we're getting back to basics.
And why is that? Why has it taken us a while to get back to that point, to realize we need to have art teachers in schools with kids to help them stay involved?
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that for many years we thought that the arts were on the other end of the spectrum with the sciences. And now I think we're seeing that they're very well aligned. The whole process of learning in the arts and in science are very similar.
And Ernest, the Arts Council of Indianapolis, you guys are kind of like the watchdogs of the city in a way. You look around and you see who needs some art in their programs and how can we help them do that, don't you?
That is one way of thinking of it. We consider ourselves more facilitators than watchdogs, but yes, we keep an eye on the landscape to see what the issues and opportunities are. We also provide funding for arts organizations, 50 organizations every year, and arts education is a key component of that funding formula.
Because then creating the programs is kind of what you guys do. You get the professionals that go out. And what is that like? Do you have to train an artist who's used to just doing their own work for themselves to go out and share that with children?
That's right. Now it is a very different orientation. The child is at the center of the learning, and so we do work with artists on that concept, and we're just working through teaching artistry, and most artists really love it and find they're learning from it as well.
And if you ask any artist, they're going to say, well, art is vital in my life. But as we were talking about, for a long time, it kind of got shoved under the rug. But there have been studies done now that, I mean, corporations know that kids that have been brought up in the arts are going to be better employees.
That's right. There was a study of CEOs that found that over 90% of CEOs list that creativity is the number one factor that they're looking for in terms of new hires. And so with creativity being the number one factor, where else to hone those skills in terms of creativity than in the arts?
Tell us some of the creative ways that your artists are working with kids in Arts for Learning.
Well, a couple of programs come to mind. We have two artists in dance and movement that actually teach science and math. One teaches math skills through dance, teaches patterns and sequencing and shapes, and the other teaches scientific principles about the water cycle. But it goes beyond those specific areas of learning. It's almost about a habit of mind that when you use the arts, you're really opening up a child's world and giving them a whole different way of thinking.
I see you nodding
Absolutely.
encouragingly.
And that is certainly supported by the data in terms of what our teachers and our principals say. Over 90% of principals and teachers say that the arts should be a core part of a student's curriculum because it will help increase student achievement.
Now, getting there is probably going to take us a while because it's probably going to be legislative process and things like that.
But it's also about partnerships, just bringing the community together. This past year, Arts for Learning, IPS, the business community, United Way, and other organizations came together to conduct a year-long study of what are the barriers, and now we're working together to tear down those barriers and bring arts education to every given child.
Is it hard to find artists to get involved in your group to go out to work with the kids?
No, not really. We have a good number of artists in Indiana and Indianapolis area, and once they get into it, sometimes it takes them a while to become oriented toward teaching artistry, but they begin to really love it, and they learn from it, and the kids really respond well to it.
Have you been around long enough to know that you've had kids that have been in the program that have gone on to become artists?
I can't say we've specifically tracked that, but we do hear lots of anecdotal evidence about kids responding better, wanting to come to school more, and just being more curious about learning through the arts.
And that keeping that curiosity factor is important, isn't it? In
Absolutely.
the arts in general.
When you look at all the leading figures here in the community right now, I know a sportscaster who actually credits his experience in theater as a kid to his success as a sportscaster. There's a local restaurateur who also credits his experience in the arts. There's an athlete that I could name that also makes that same connection, and the list goes on and on.
It all comes back. Ernest, JoEllen, thank you for being here today. And remember, you can find out how you can help too. Visit amgrad.wfyi.org and follow us on Twitter at #AmGradIndy. Stay tuned for more American Graduate Day right here on WFYI.